Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Roush, and welcome back. This is preparation for the playoffs. So what I'm going to be doing over the next few days is I'm interviewing every single person who has participated thus far in, PSR Season 3. So today I have with me Dolphin and coach of the Jimboomban Jigglypuffs, and we're going to be doing a season recap for his team. He finished in, well, I can't say it now, but finished very well. So that being said, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, what's up?
That was fantastic. Okay, so now that housekeeping all done, let's go ahead and start talking about your team. So this is how your roster finished on the season. Tyranitar, Chansey, Ditto, Diggersby, Serena, Jigglypuff, Mega Glalie, Scolipede, Melodic, Tornadus, Incarnate, and Doublade. That wasn't the team that you drafted to start out with. Let's talk about that really quickly. So, what Mons did you start out with?
So, I started off with, I believe it was still Tyranitar, Chansey, Ditto, Diggersby. It was all of the Pokemon except for the bottom two, with Tornadus and Doublade are the main switches, and I believe I had Malamar as well.
So, yeah, and, originally he drafted a Kamala, a Bisharp, and a Malamar. So, you did a random draft. So when you did your draft randomized, you had the world's greatest fighting weakness. What did you have? You had like 10 weaknesses to fighting, something like that?
Yes, I believe it was 10, if
no,
not
it wasn't.
9.
It was 8. It was 8.
Oh, 8, okay, yeah. But my only resistance was the God Scolipede, so, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, you shored up that weakness very nicely with Doublade and Tornadus, and they ended up being very good niche picks for you, especially, like, middle ranks of the MVP race. But, of course, as we all know, like, Scolipede really took control of your team, and we're going to talk a little more about Scolipede later, but what was your favorite part about building with this kind of squad?
Oh, I just cut out.
Alright, yeah, what was your favorite part about building with this team?
To be honest, I really liked using all of my big hitters, so like Scolipede and Glalie, and like being able to decide like which ones I was going to bring this week, and can I run like Explosion Glalie, and can I run all of this really cool stuff, and then yeah.
So your favorite part was using your big wall breakers every week.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of funny. The one mon that you didn't bring up was Tyranitar, and that is going to be the subject of our pick a Pokemon set for you. Now you selected this Tyranitar out of everything that you could have talked about, and this Assault Vest nickname None Tyranitar, max HP, max special attack, quiet nature with a little bit of, what'd you put, Spadef? Yeah, you put
Spadef,
the rest in Spadef. So, walk me through this. What on earth was this supposed to do?
So, against Sun, I believe he had Latios, and a bunch of pretty strong special attackers. So, I really wanted to bring Assault Vest Tyranitar because I don't know if you all know, but Assault Vest is 1.5 times special defense, and so does the Stand. So it's actually a 2.25 boosted special defense, which makes it completely insane.
Alright, so my thing is the move pool that you chose for this particular match. This is a team that has Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Marowak, Hitmonlee. At the time it was Hitmonlee too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, at the time it was Hitmonlee. Yeah. Hitmonlee. And like Swampert. So you had like Fire Blast over potential Rock Stab or Ground move, because there was also a Magnezone on the list. And a Toxicroak. So you went with Fire Blast instead of like Earth Power or anything else. I mean, correct me if it doesn't learn it, but this
no,
move
it
pool
doesn't.
is
Yeah.
just...
It learns Earthquake, but yeah.
So then the other thing, if you look at the attacks, I kind of wish that I could highlight them, but my highlighter's not working right now. But on your attacks list, you have Whirlpool, which is a trapping move, and then Pursuit, which is an anti-trapping move.
Yeah.
So what? Why that combo? Like, what was Whirlpool supposed to be doing in this scenario?
I'm pretty sure Whirlpool traps the... you can trap, say, Alolan Ninetales, and then... So, say I switch into Tyranitar on the whatever move, it shrugs off the Moonblast even if they go for it, so... And then if they feel like doing literally anything, instead of switching out with Alolan Ninetales, you can trap that. You can trap the Latios if it feels like being cheeky and staying in for like a Earthquake or something on the Pursuit. You can trap Magnezone, and then I think the damage from Whirlpool makes it guaranteed knockout from Fire Blast, and you're not too KO'd by like Scar, Flash Cannon or something.
That's hilarious. Overall, just a really hilarious kind of set. So that was what it was supposed to be doing. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it actually did in the match. So I'm going to set the stage. So Scolipede has taken over this match at this point. It's got a Swords Dance up. It's already got its speed boost up. It's pretty much set to sweep here. You had Earthquake, Mega Horn, and I don't think you revealed your last move. Do you remember what that one was?
It was probably just Rock Slide or something. I don't remember.
So you go for the Tectonic Rage on the Jirachi and KO it. So, I mean, you're in a really nice position right now because, if I remember correctly, the Rotom was severely weakened, yes. And
yes.
You KO'd everything at this point, and you outsped everything at this point. But lo and behold, again, Tyranitar hasn't been sent out this entire match. This Latios manages to get the Mega Horn miss. It kills you with this Draco, which leaves Tyranitar free to come in. Now notice he had the Pursuit on it. So predicting the Latios to switch out, you go for the Pursuit on this turn. And that Thunderbolt is doing jack. That's a Latios. That's 130 base special attack coming at you. Now I know it's not a great hit, but that was just hilarious, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just really epitomized your style of battling. Now I can't remember if you died in this.
Of course, no, I actually lived this Z Steel move from Magnezone.
And then you died to the Beedrill. But then, of course, you have a couple priority users in the back end.
The game was over at that point, but
But just the fact that Tyranitar was able to tank that much from that move is just some kind of impressive. So,
yes.
I mean, that really epitomizes like your style of building, and again, we'll get to that in just a second. So, the other thing that we didn't go over yet was, like I said, you're in playoffs, and you grabbed the top spot in your division. So let's actually take a look at how our playoff bracket is sorted so far. So you're going to be going round 1, and this is the part that's not set in stone, because not everybody's had their final matches. There's still a couple of positions left to be fought over. But from the looks of it, you're going to be facing off against either Geno and the Real Gam Tower Tyranitars, or the Midwest Mawwiles and King K Theater, just the way the brackets stand right now. Now, I believe King K still has a chance to come back and catch Jake mathematically, and Geno has a chance to catch back up to FN Crazy, so you could potentially face either one of those teams. In terms of who you would be facing, who do you think out of those four, Jake, King K, Geno, and FN, would be your toughest matchup?
My toughest matchup? I'm honestly really scared of both Geno and FN.
Okay.
Geno builds somewhat similarly to me, but less, let's just say less recklessly and stupid.
Okay. So you feel like you're
he
building
builds
lags
very
in certain
solid,
times?
like yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sort of.
Interesting that
And,
you should say that.
I did. No, I don't know, but
So you just wouldn't want to face either one of those guys.
no, not really. Yeah.
Okay.
And I would expect them to beat whoever they would be facing in round 1 as well. So.
Alrighty. So, next question. Based on this playoff bracket, who do you think will finish number 1? Who do you think is going to get this centerpiece in the middle?
I don't want to say me because that is the way to lose.
So it's not going to be you. You don't think you will?
No, not really.
You're allowed to be
actually,
narcissistic. You're allowed to be narcissistic. In fact, I encourage.
Well, I
you
don't
to.
actually think I will take the whole thing. How I expect this to go is it'll be me versus you, Roush, in semi-finals. You'll beat me, and then Fan will come up from quarters all the way up to the grand finals to face you, and I reckon he'll beat you again in the rematch.
So you like Fan over the course of the tournament?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm actually going to make one small comment about that, and then we'll get on to the grading,
Okay.
which is what everybody wants to know is how well I think you did over the course of the season. So, for me, I hate your team. Like, for the reasons that you said, your wall breakers are just so fun to use. And some of them are just easy. Like, Diggersby is easy to use. Scullipede can be easy to use. It can be an auto win. And I'm, like, running through my team, trying to figure out what I can do to beat your core, your offensive core. It's scary. Like, it's really difficult for me to figure out a way to do that. Because, I know, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm already trying to think of how to play against you, but alright, so that's the playoff bracket. You heard it here. FN Crazy's going to win the whole thing, and Dolphin's going to lose in the semifinals to Roush. So let's go ahead and talk about you and your how I think you did with your team. Your draft was pitiful. Obviously, it was random. You had this fighting weakness out the wazoo, and you did kind of patch those areas. But I feel like you could have had a lot of fun if you tried going on with the Malamar. I think that would have been a lot of fun. But in terms of team building, you organized a lot of times around the Scullipede. So whenever you brought the Scullipede, most of your matches were all, how can I get to Scullipede, getting to Scullipede, clicking the auto win button with Scullipede. As you can see, the plus 18 differential in 8 games played, which is tremendous, by the way. Average of just about 3 kills a match. That's better than my Raikou from last year. I'll tell you that much for free. But so you tend to build mainly balanced teams. Some of them had interesting synergy. You were never afraid to take chances on weird sets. You're a creative team builder. But in terms of like overall goals, your teams tended to be the same. Like have sort of a stall/wall core with a couple of tanks, and then get to a single mon to win the game. And that's usually how your matches played out. So some matches were fairly quick and easy, but others tended to drone on a little bit further. But your teams in building, a lot of them did have flaws. Like there were many opportunities left, holes in team building that your opponents could have taken advantage of to take control of a match. So for that, I'm actually going to give you a B+ for team building over the course of the season, just because I feel like your team building was pretty good, but they ended up being more cookie cutter-ish than maybe you would have liked. In terms of match execution, completely different monster. Again, relying on wall breakers like Diggersby and Glalie to really start off games with a bang, especially with Spike's explosion type Glalie with Freeze Dry, etc. Then for your mid game, you tended to play with Stalls and Tanks, Melodic to Blade. A lot of the times, Serena a little closer to the end. Serena got into a few matches and tanked a couple hits. Again, Scullipede endgame for the most part. Diggersby also got a couple of cleans. Ditto, I think Ditto got one good match, and that was pretty much it. The most recent match, Ditto was okay. That was a ballsy play. That was a really ballsy set. I love it. But you were never afraid to sack Mons for the cause. So, like, in terms of that, you could have left some holes open in your team. And you never got a 6-0. Like, there were times that you were close, but you just never were able to close out a 6-0. Now, I'm not saying that that's a mark of a bad battler by any stretch of the imagination. But, just, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And you lost every rematch. So, first round, you've beaten everybody when you played them the first time, but you lost to everybody in your division when you played them a second time. And I don't know what on earth happened between you and Amoeba in your second match versus the Wolverhampton Waddlers. Hopefully I'm not even sure I want to know what on earth you were doing. But because of all of those factors, for the most part, you did play well. I'm actually going to give you an A-. That is the wrong key. Let's try this again. So I'm going to give you an A- for the match execution. But at the end of the day, you still had a very, very good season. In terms of playoffs, I feel like this is one of the better teams. You're definitely one of the better builders. But I don't think, like you said, that this team is going to make it to the very pinnacle. I think you have a good shot at finals, but I don't think this team is enough to win it all. And I'm actually going to give you, overall on the season, an A-. Just because I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. I think you're pretty much at the bottom end of top teams. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's
totally fair. Yeah. Like, I feel like everyone is, like, hyping me up because, you know, obviously I was doing extremely well at the start of the season and stuff. But most people are, like, looking at the results and they're not really looking at...
Yeah, exactly. Like I said,
it's not good. Like
you tend to have holes in your team building, and I think once people start getting the playoffs and start thinking about how they build teams a little bit more, those kinds of flaws are going to come back into the forefront.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have one crowning achievement so far this season, and as the victim of it last season, I am proud to say that Jigglypuff went the entire regular season without getting a kill.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of that fact. I was its one kill last season with a Stealth Rock death.
Stealth Rock, yes.
But so before we wrap up here, I don't actually have a slide for this, but taking a look at the MVPs and the moves specifically, what are some of the surprise moves this season for you? What are some moves that you think stand out that people were using this season?
I haven't actually really looked at the MVP.
You haven't?
But,
all right. Well,
not really.
In that case, I'm just gonna go ahead and read through the top 25 and the top 25 Pokemon, and then we'll go over the moves as well. Stop me when you feel surprised. Scullipede, Megazard X, Buzzwole, Celesteela, Gyarados, teammates Zygarde 50% and Mega Gallade, Mew, Hydreigon, Landorus Therian, Victini, undrafted Alakazam, Clefable, Diggersby, Greninja, Skarmory at 16, Hoopa Unbound, Zeraora, Entei, Mimikyu, Salazzle, Serperior, Kyurem Black, Dugtrio, and Zygarde 10%.
They actually don't really surprise me at all. I guess Skarmory is like the only one.
Skarmory is surprising to me too because it got 8 direct kills.
Oh.
So it probably did most of its chip off of entry hazard, but it managed to get 8 kills with like Brave Bird Iron Heads. That was pretty funny to me. And then just below that list, we have a Mega Camerupt that never survived once, yet still finished with a positive differential. Died all 10 matches that has been brought so far, with 1 match to go, and it's gotten 11 kills. I think that's pretty funny. So moves, we have Earthquake, Stone Edge, Moonblast, Poison, Flamethrower, Knockoff, 1,000 Arrows, Iron Head, Ice Beam, Surf, Hidden Power, Heavy Slam, Psyshock, Suicide, and Flare Blitz for the top 15.
Suicide still in there.
So, in fact, I went back through, and we found another suicide kill that didn't get documented correctly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a Perish Trap kill. So I originally wrote that in as died to Perish Song, but it technically should have been a suicide because both Mons went down to the Perish Song.
Yeah.
So, just overall, a really wacky season. Again, congratulations on your playoff berth. I'll try and cover playoffs once we're finished with those as well. But thank you so much for joining me this evening, and I will see all y'all next time. Roush is out. Peace.